Hey gals, welcome to Binge Free Bestie, the podcast where we ditch the diets, break free from binge eating, and build a safe and empowered relationship with our bodies. I'm your host, Nick Carberia, a registered therapist who totally gets it. Binge eating and body image struggles? Yep, I've been there, done that, and I've got the therapy bills to prove it. But here's the good news, bestie. I've recovered and I'm here to help you to do the same. This potty is all about real, evidence-based strategies from my therapy practice, plus down-to-earth, relatable girl talk with me and some of my amazing besties and other experts who have their own stories, tips, and tricks to share with you. So, whether you're tired of the diet cycle, ready to ditch the shame spiral, or just want to feel more confident in your own skin, then you've come to the right place. It's time to get real about food freedom, body acceptance, self-care, and building a life you truly love. Let's get into it, besties.
Hey bestie, welcome back to the Binge Free Bestie podcast. I'm Nick, your food freedom hype gal and registered therapist. Today we're going to dive into something that I really don't hear talked about enough. I got a DM from one of our besties on Instagram and she asked me to talk about this, and I think that is a great idea, so here we are. It's something that comes up all the time in binge recovery work, and that is transfer addiction. So this is when you move away from one coping tool, such as food, and you move towards something else. Could be alcohol, could be drugs, could be shopping, could be doom scrolling, and without even realizing it, you're leaning on that thing now instead of the food. So maybe, and this can work with any sort of addiction, right? Maybe you stop drinking, but suddenly you notice yourself binge eating. Or it could be the total opposite. You stop binge eating and now you notice that you're drinking more. Or you start healing that relationship with food, but then you notice, okay, I'm not using food to serve, but I've actually noticed that my online shopping has gone through the roof. Or I'm just spending way more time numbing out on socials or having that extra wine every night. And I know it can feel really confusing, and I know that it also can feel really shameful. But I just want you to know that if this is happening for you as you start to make your way through your recovery journey, that this is actually a pretty standard part of the recovery journey for some people. I had this as well. So I noticed that when I started to move away from food being the thing that I chose first and foremost to soothe myself or dissociate, I started using alcohol. So I just want to raise this because I want to break the stigma and the shame around it. We're going to talk about why it happens, how you can spot it, and some things that you can start to do to tackle it. So the first place I want to start is around why transfer addiction happens. So taking shame right off the table. Humans need ways to cope. We all need ways to cope when life is feeling really overwhelming. And our nervous system is going to look for relief wherever it can get it. It's going to look for ways to ground. It's going to look for ways to feel safe. And addiction and other maladaptive coping tools, again, it's stuff like food, alcohol, gambling, the doom scrolls. They all are serving a purpose. And usually that purpose is to soothe you, distract you, or numb you. So when you take one of your tools away, such as the binge eating, when you start to take that away without replacing it with healthier coping strategies, then your brain goes, oh my gosh, I still need something to survive this urge, this feeling that I'm having, this discomfort. So what else can I grab onto? Essentially, that is transfer addiction in a nutshell. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, doesn't mean you failed, doesn't mean you're weak. All of those things that we can sometimes attribute to ourselves when we do a behavior like drinking or gambling or endless shopping, okay? It just means that you're human, and it means that your nervous system has been looking for something to get that dopamine kick, to get that sense of safety. Okay, so what can you do if you notice that this might be happening for you? I have got 5 quick tips. The first is I want you to get curious, not judgmental. So instead of thinking, oh my God, I have messed up again, I want you to ask yourself, what is this behavior doing for me right now? Okay, where is this coming from? because compassion creates space for change. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to name the need. So most transfer addictions are going to point to an unmet need. So that need might look like comfort, rest, connection, a dopamine kick, regulation, these kind of things. And when you identify what the need is, you can then choose a healthier way to meet it. Choose is a key word here, okay? So when we have awareness of our behaviors, we then have a choice. So I think I've mentioned this in other episodes before, but I still get urges to binge sometimes. By urge, I mean that sometimes my brain will suggest to me, you've had a shitty day, it's been rough, why don't we just sit down with as much food as we can find in the cupboard or swing through the drive-through on the way home and just have a nice binge, because I know that binge eating does give me that dopamine kick and it's easy. And so I've got lots of old wiring and old programming in my mind that knows that on a tough day, I could choose to eat. I could choose to binge. I could choose to use food to soothe myself. However, I am aware of my patterns and I'm aware that that was a maladaptive coping behavior that wasn't serving my highest and greatest good. So now I choose to look into my toolkit and be like, well, what else can I do here? So let's expand on that a little bit more with point number 3, and that is to build a coping toolbox. So food or alcohol or scrolling or online shopping cannot be your only coping tool in life. Well, it could be, but you're going to stay stuck. You're probably going to stay pretty miserable. So what we want to do is expand that toolkit. Have a look into things like breath work, journaling, reaching out to your friends, doing some joyful movement, or just having a really nice big cry. Because coping is not about never struggling. So I'm coping, but it doesn't mean that I don't ever have a hard time. And as I said, it doesn't mean that I don't ever have a thought of, gosh, it'd just be easier to sit down and have a binge right now, because I know I can numb out. I know I can dissociate, but I also know I have other options and I choose to use them. Okay, it's not to say that I don't ever use food for pleasure or to just enjoy the slice of cake. That is totally allowed and I feel guilt-free doing that. But if I'm eating the cake purely because I've had a really shitty day and I know that the cake is to soothe that, is actually not going to soothe that, is it? Because it's a temporary fix, the cake. So yeah, slow it down. This is point number 4. Slow it down. Stop doing things on autopilot. Pause. Delay. Give yourself 60 seconds before you reach for the glass or the phone or the snack, and just check in with yourself and say, well, what do I actually need? What is the unmet need that I have here? And the final step 5, is reach out for community. Get some support and know that you don't have to try and figure all of this out on your own. You could go to therapy. You could join a recovery group, you could join like an online group or a program like my one, The Breakup, because healing happens so much faster when you are supported and you feel seen and you feel validated. So that's really all I wanted to say today. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, and I wanted you to know that transfer addiction does not mean that you've failed at your recovery journey or that it's stopped or you're going backwards. Absolutely not. We know that healing is very rarely linear, and sometimes we can swap one coping tool for another. Okay, the goal isn't to be perfect all the time. That's impossible. But if we can learn to notice our patterns and we can understand the need that is underneath that pattern or beneath that behavior, then we can slowly learn to meet it with a little bit more compassion and a healthier set of tools. And that is growth. That is what recovery looks like. If you want to go deeper on that, check out some of my earlier episodes, because I do have quite a few where I break down the binge restrict cycle and nervous system triggers in a bit more detail. And I'm very excited to share something with you guys. Actually, I have quite a few things to share with you guys. Okay, the first is that my website has finally gone live. It's finally finished. We were being a little bit pedantic with perfecting it, but I wanted to make sure that the space was really helpful for you guys. So basically, if you go to bingefreebestie.com, you're going to see the most kick-ass food freedom website on the internet. I've made sure of it. So on there, you've got every blog post that relates to every episode of this podcast. So you can look in this library and it's going to have everything that I talk about on the podcast in writing, because I know it's nice sometimes to refer back to these strategies. So you can find those on the website and they're all free. I've also got other freebies on there, and of course I've got information about my program, The Breakup, which now that the website has finally been finished, now I can finally set a hard date on when I am reopening the doors to the program. And that date is the 10th of October. So if you're listening to this and that date has already passed, then you could enroll in the Breakup right now. And inside the Breakup, I'm going to help you to heal your relationship with food. I'm going to help you to ditch those diet culture lies and to step into that binge-free life that you deserve and that you will really, really love. So how cool is that? The website's ready. The Breakup is on its way. Remember that I have a wait list, and if you jump on the wait list before the 10th of October, I'm going to email you on the 9th of October, and I'm going to offer you some pretty cool bonuses and perks for people who are my waitlist VIPs. So if you're not there already, check the show notes. It'll be on there. And final point for today, and it's quite a lot, but I'm actually hosting a free masterclass next week. So that'll be on October 9th. This is New Zealand Standard Time, 6 p.m. And it's going to be called Breaking Up with Binge Eating, 3 Secrets to Stop Feeling Out of Control Around Food. So in this masterclass, it will go for about an hour, and I'm going to tell you why you struggle with food. To be honest, if you're listening to this podcast, there'll be a lot of familiar information in there, but I'm going to be live, which means that you can chat with me, you can ask me questions. I'm going to give you some therapist-backed, evidence-based strategies, and I've also got a bit of a prize to give away. So if you come live, you're going to go in the draw to win a one-on-one therapy session and tailored strategies pack that's valued at $497 New Zealand dollars. So that's pretty cool. So again, head to the link in my show notes if you want to register for the masterclass. Right now it's free, but I'm also going to make this a paid masterclass later. So you may as well just register, because I'll send you the replay if you can't make it live. So that is me for today. Remember, if you're swapping one coping tool for another one, you're not a bad person. As I said at the start, I did that too. It's kind of a rite of passage for a lot of people and their recovery journeys. So just, if that is happening for you, you kind of get that sense, just see it as information, a bit of data, opportunity for learning, opportunity to really drill down on your coping toolkit and make sure that you have lots of options in there other than those other maladaptive behaviors. Okay, until next week, I will catch you again soon. You've got this.